This is the show that has hosted everyone from Sugar Ray Leonard to Keith One-Time Thurman. This is Tough Talk Tonight, brought to you by Heavy Bag Boxing.
Welcome to another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Biggers. Alongside me, I got Sakura, I got James, I got Rob. How's it going, everybody?
Pretty good.
Happy holidays. Excellent.
Happy holidays. Almost here. I got to say, man, 2024 has gone by so fast. A little too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, slow down.
Let's,
We did have Usyk Fury 1. What a great fight that was. An amazing fight. And we're on the verge of second one, right? Unfortunately, This Riyadh season card is just abysmal. I mean, there's no other name, no other attraction. It is the main event, and that is it. According to ESPN, we got Johnny Fisher and David Allen, Moses Atwama, Dempsey McKean, James McCann versus Peter McGrail, Isaac Lowe versus Lee McGregor. And then your co-main, Sergey, I just said it earlier, Bohocik versus Ishmael Davis. Guys, not a lot of star power other than the main event.
So I guess Madrimov Bohachuk is off, right?
Yeah, Rob said
Madrimov somehow got a mysterious illness last week.
Really mysterious.
Illness.
And due to his illness, withdrew from the fight, even though he had already signed a fight for February against Virgil Ortiz.
Right. He's going up against Ortiz.
Yeah. I guess it was called Virgil Ortizitis. Okay, that was the name of the condition.
They said he choked on a wishbone at Thanksgiving.
Guess he didn't want to take a chance of losing on that card, huh?
Little side conversation. Would you have rather saw Madrimov Bohocik, or would you rather see Madrimov Virgil Ortiz?
Well, right, exactly. I'd rather see Virgil Ortiz and
So we're not too mad at him, except for the fact you left us for this card. Okay, this card is crap. We still want to see that fight, but damn it, we're screwed with this card.
But second question is, even if that fight had been on the card, is it still like a week undercard?
Yeah, I guess it would be. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just a little bit less weak.
It made no sense for Madrimov Bohocik, because Bohocik just lost to Virgil Ortiz. Why would you throw Madrimov in the mix and possibly could lose that fight and then put him up against Ortiz next? If he loses to Bohocik, who just
something's up with your mic, Rob. You like way in the back.
Again, Madrimov lost to
You're muffled now.
And
Oh, okay. I guess his solution is I'm going to just call back in. So
Well, it looks like Riyadh season's learning to put these fights together, because to double book somebody like they did with Madrimov just doesn't make any sense. And I think we said it last week. It's kind of disrespectful, but hopefully, it doesn't look right. It's not a good look.
Yeah, and talk about disrespectful. Munguia was kind of setting up a fight, maybe not necessarily. I think it was in the works, but let's talk about Munguia's upset and looking past people, James, like we were talking about. Rob, is your mic fixed?
Yeah. I was just saying that it made no sense with that fight. Bohocik lost to Ortiz, so why see Madrimov fight him and then turn around and fight Ortiz next? That made no sense.
Maybe they realized that's where the illness came from. But yeah, let's talk a little bit now about Munguia.
I mean,
Um,
it would have made sense to stay busy though.
I
If
mean,
you
it
know,
would, but
yeah, like that part would have made sense. I think as far as the undercard is concerned too, Shakur did have to also pull out of that fight due to an injury. So I mean, it would have been a decent card had it not been for those two, semi amazing boxers not being able to be on the undercard. So I'm still good because I want to see this rematch between Fury and versus Usyk. As long as that doesn't fall through, I mean, I'm gonna still be watching.
yeah,
I'm with you, Shakur. I don't. Who cares? That's the fight we want to see, anyway.
I mean, I care. I don't get me wrong, I care, but I'm just saying, like, if any of those fights had to fall out, as long as it's not the main event with these two heavyweights, and it's like, the second best heavyweight rematch ever.
Yeah,
Because
all,
But
Fury
this we
Wilder
got.
was pretty badass.
all I can say is that I'm glad to see a lot of fights on the undercard, as many as they have. It looks like 6 or 7 or 8 fights, but hopefully it'll push the main event a little bit further into the day, where I get a better chance to look at it. Because these Riyadh season fights are 11, 10, 11, 12, 1. Who knows? When they're in the United States, it's just perfect. You get home, you crack your beer, you got your food, and everybody's coming over, and it's all perfect. And now this is kind of
It's
sucks,
wild.
but
It's like
the
Wide
way
World of Sports, as Emilio said.
the way it is,
Afternoon boxing.
as long as it's not too early, because I can't watch it that early. So, but
yeah, I mean, there needs to be a sweet spot, right? Like, I'm starting to get older, and I want the main event to be before midnight. God damn it! But at the same time, I don't want it to be at 4 p.m.
yeah,
Emilio falls asleep so early that he be like, I have a better chance of being able to watch the entire card if it is like where the main event is coming on at like 5 or 5:30. Cause if it starts lingering into the night, forget about it. And then I gotta turn you guys off in our group because you're gonna be talking about who won and I haven't seen it yet.
right.
And I hate that.
Well,
Well, the other, yeah, go ahead.
one thing about this fight is bound to be better than Tyson versus Jake Paul.
Most likely, yeah.
I mean, just about anything is going to beat that at this point. Um, let's talk a little bit about Munguia, though, on this past one. Big upset for a lot of people. But is this just another case, Sakura, where we don't know the other guy, and maybe even Munguia did not realize that the other guy was maybe this good? Not to mention, he's somewhat looking past him, trying to set up a fight with Berlanga. What happened with Munguia? Where would you
Right. Well, you
say
know
we went?
what? What I liked about Money Gal is he stayed busy. He is the only boxer that we can really pinpoint that had a huge fight with Canelo and then didn't just disappear. Like, so he did at least continue and kept staying busy. Now, I know some of us are going to have issues with the opponents he chose to stay busy with, but at the same time, this was supposed to probably be a safer route because the opponent only had like 4 KOs prior to Mungiao, and you know um, he's from France, so a lot of people didn't know him or know his record. I think this was supposed to be a safe, like December, let's get one more in for the year type fi- outing. Give the fans something at home in Mexico to see. And I mean, big upset. It's mostly because I don't know how good the opponent is. What is the opponent's name? See what I'm saying?
Bruno.
I'm
Bruno,
not. I'm not sure how good he is, but we all know that Bungiao sometimes when he goes after his fish, his kill, he kind of leaves himself open for big shots, and we all know that a hurt opponent is a dangerous opponent. And I feel like that's what happened in that fight. So I don't know how good the boxer is. But I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing him again. And Berlanga might as well just go ahead and fight him to stay busy too. If we
Yeah.
want a litmus test, he should be able to get that fight just like Berlanga was gonna give it to Munguia. He beat who you were gonna fight. But at the same time, it's possible for anybody to get caught in that particular scenario because Munguia was wide open and he was on top of his opponent. So he had to know, you pull out with your chin up, it's there. He countered him. It's the perfect chin checker. So we'll see how good he is when he fights someone else.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. So we have Munguia, which a lot of people were praising, especially after the Canelo fight. Oh, he's the next Canelo. He's the next one up, right? Not only people on the internet, people worldwide. I believe some people on this panel. Robbie's shaking your head.
I never said that. I never said that.
I have to pull that up. I have to pull it up. I'm not sure, but somebody said that on this panel, I believe. But do you
I
think
said that I thought that they were setting him up to be the next Mexican star. When Canelo takes his bow and exits and retires. I thought they were trying to set him up for that moment. But setbacks happen.
Does this hurt his overall? I mean, is he going to be praised as the next Canelo now, or he's going to be written off? Is this going to hurt?
I think that dust is worn off a little bit with this defeat. It's such a shocking loss, and you know what? I really feel for Jaime because he goes to Tijuana to fight, for his people, there at the stadium, the local stadium that they have there, and it's all good. It's kind of like a homecoming fight, and it's his 4th of the year, and it's been a pretty good year, I guess. But I think he just got a little comfortable. And the other thing is that this kid Bruno Sarase, he was 25-0 going into this fight, so he had some skills. He only got 5 KOs, but he had some skills. And for Munguia to drop his guard like he did, big mistake. And he was in charge. I mean, he knocked him down in the 2nd round, I believe.
Yeah.
But got caught slipping. Not very good.
Yeah, so, but like I said, that can happen. I'm just saying his career isn't over or anything like that. We won't know till later, like how much a loss really affects a person. You don't know right away. But he can accept that he made an error and just get back in that ring as soon as possible in 2025 is what I say.
Yeah, I just wonder how much that blow took out of Jaime Munguia. We'll see in the future, but it was pretty devastating. The count was pretty quick, and he made it up, but he was in really, really bad shape. So I'm glad they stopped it.
I think it's always that punch you don't see. That's like Munguia's known to have a pretty good chin. So I think it's the fact that he didn't see that at all when it came in, that he wasn't able to brace for it, or they always say that. I haven't been hit, so I wouldn't know, but I'm pretty sure like when you don't see something coming and then bam, it's like a car accident and you wake up, you have no idea what the fuck just happened. So I think that he can be back.
Yeah, like James, I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that he's going to come back, but with losses, especially knockout losses, you got to be a little cautious because one, he's going to take a huge hit to his confidence. Not to mention the knockout. You get knocked out like that, sometimes it breaks you loose, and you're that more susceptible to being knocked out next time, and very well could ruin him. Rob, any take on his future?
Well, I think it's a combination of things, right? I think it's all of these. Hold on. I think it's all of the above when it comes to the knockout, right?
You still a little low, Rob. Like it's
Can't,
hard to hear.
I think every time
there you
something
go.
fucking
Oh,
comes
there it
and
goes.
buzzes up on my phone like a Instagram post or something like that.
Okay.
Listen. It's a combination, right? One, it definitely was a punch that he didn't expect coming. Two, you're not looking at this guy's power at all. Probably wasn't a whole lot of tape in there. Probably didn't even not only he didn't see the punch coming, he probably didn't expect that type of power coming
Mhm.
from this guy. So it caught him off guard too. Him being at home, right? We have heard of fighters that say they can't fight at home because of all the hoopla, all the events that come with it, all the stuff that come with all of that. So we don't know how much of that weighed in on him. It's his fourth fight in a year. He's winding down for the year, you know? And then it's the stuff in between him and the corner, the stuff that we don't see, that we don't know. How prepared was he for this fight? How serious did he take this fight? Was he really that prepared, or was he just in there to fight and stay busy? You know, so it's all of those. It's all of those. That being
But
said, you're absolutely right. He should stay active next year. Just be prepared for anything now. You see it coming. Now you know it can happen. So be more prepared out of any fight that you take. Get
mm,
back out there and go at it again. He took a punch from Canelo and got up. Okay. So it's really hard to believe that this kid was able to knock him out. Really. That's really hard to believe after he took the best from Canelo.
He took him flush. He hit him flush though. I mean, that was a super solid blow.
Canelo hit him flush, James.
Yeah,
Canelo hit him real flush.
yeah, but that's that
Yeah,
theory about let's see who's stronger, and the idea is that maybe he was braced for Canelo, and this one it just caught him off guard. I don't think he was expecting that blow.
and I
No,
And
mean
I
this
don't think he was either.
he didn't
this
see it
guy,
at
this
all.
Bruno, he is not a power puncher. I
no,
mean,
no,
Right. That's what I was
five
saying. Like,
KOs, five total.
Yeah,
well, the
Crazy.
and
five
I
comes
said
from
that.
Munguia. Like, so it was really four going into the fight.
Exactly.
So,
Rob, I heard you mention, this is fourth fight as if it was a bad thing. We always say we need fighters to be more active. Are you saying Munguia may be a little too active?
No, no. I said it's his fourth fight, and he knows it's his last fight. Was he winding down? Was he just saying, okay, I'm going to take it easy in training, take it easy in the fight, coast, win this bout in my home territory, and then start the New Year's? It's not a bad thing to have four active fights when it's planned properly. It is a bad thing to force four fights on a fighter and they're not prepared.
no, I think his preparation was there. I think he just got caught slipping. He should have been, ready for war, and this is a big mental error.
he
So
was he was trying to get dude out of there. Like he was in killer instinct mode. But even when you're in killer instinct mode, you have to use defensive prowess with that, or you're gonna get caught like that.
he
But
seemed a little lackadaisical when he got hit. I mean,
yeah,
he dropped his left, and he got caught.
What they say on Friday, Lucas, you should have been ducking and weaving. You should have been ducking and weaving.
I mean,
but
yeah,
look though,
his
who
hand didn't come
else?
home. That's for sure.
However.com, guys, let's be honest. Who else this year can we say has a major name in the sport that actually fought four times in a year?
I don't think it matters if you lose two of them.
I mean, no,
You
it
can fight
still
four times, but if
matters.
you lose two, what do we get?
I mean, it still matters. It's the fact that you're doing what old school boxers used to do, which is stay busy regardless if they win or lose. So, I mean, to me, it does mean something as a hardcore fan. I think that's freaking amazing. That is more than 2 fights in a year. Now, now, here's the problem now. I believe with Canelo wasn't really that motivated to get him out of there, I don't believe. I don't really believe he wanted to do a lot of damage to Munguia because, he respects Munguia. Munguia never engaged with none of this BS talking. He always seemed like he respected him, and he knows he's from Mexico. So
Yeah.
and he knew that he was an up and coming fighter. It probably reminded him of when he fought Floyd Mayweather and how much he learned from the situation. So I really don't believe that Canelo was actively in his killer instinct with Munguia. But that being said, you cannot doubt your opponents. In this last fight, he kind of, he might have took him for granted that he didn't have any power because his record looks like he doesn't have any power.
Well,
And
Canelo hasn't.
Go ahead.
Well, Canelo hasn't knocked anybody out since what? Caleb Plant. He's not knocking people out lately. He's resorted to, really, to our surprise, Lucas, he's resorted more to boxing now. He's outboxed his opponents lately.
And the reason that is he's finally fighting people at his weight that are able to take his power. I mean, we've talked about that. I do firmly believe that. But my problem with Munguia is he still got dropped by Canelo. I mean, we're starting to wonder if the punch resistance for Munguia is as good as we thought. We were thinking he had that granite chin. We were thinking he had that Golovkin type of chin, the granite, and he just doesn't. He doesn't, guys. I think maybe people were a little high on Munguia maybe when they shouldn't have been. And yeah, anybody can get caught slipping. And yes, he was undefeated. Maybe you were looking past him, but regardless, a loss is a loss, buddy. And right now, Munguia has to come back, and I think he needs to rematch the guy. Call me crazy. And if you don't rematch him, you better come with a big name, and you need a big win to bounce back from this. So, with that being said, what would you like to see Munguia do next? You want to see an immediate rematch? I wouldn't be surprised if there is a rematch clause. I mean, we got a clear A side probably in Munguia. I can only imagine what the split was for that fight. But do we want to see Munguia rematch Saras, or are we going to want to see him avoid him and maybe go different places?
It seems like there was talk of him fighting Berlanga at some point, but I know that Berlanga has a date with Gabriel Rosado, so maybe that's not going to happen. But I think that's what the plan was. And so they were using this fight in Tijuana to, just keep him tuned up. But I don't know who else is qualified, to fight at 68. I don't know who it was.
That's a bad matchmaker if he's trying to keep him just, tuned in and tied up. Don't go against an undefeated fighter. If you're going to actually go against what you want to be a layover, make it be a layover, not an undefeated fighter.
Look, Gabriel Rosado and Berlanga shouldn't be happening either. Munguia versus Berlanga. That's the next play. Yes, he should avenge this loss, which I think he can eventually do. But a bigger step for Munguia in the right direction would be to go up and challenge Berlanga and beat him. That would be the biggest fight. Rosado hasn't been in the sport. He's fighting what? BKFC or whatever. He's fighting bare knuckle and shit. Rosado isn't in the sport. He's not prominent in the sport no more. Stop fighting those people that had names 5 years ago and start fighting each other.
Here's the thing. For anybody else, I would agree with you, Rob, but Berlanga has fought no one. You're riding off the Canelo stuff. Yeah, you just fought Canelo, but again, he didn't earn the right to even fight Canelo. I don't understand why he was even put in the same ring. or why he was mentioned in the same breath. I should
But
say.
he freaking proved that he belonged there and that he could stand his own.
He lasted.
I mean, he lasted.
Right.
He proved that he could take a fucking beating. I mean, that's about it. He didn't prove shit else to me. I don't know. How are you quiet? What's up?
I'm trying to ease my way in, but the funny thing is, like, I have a group of friends, and they also have mixed feelings about that. You know, I honestly I earned a little bit of respect because he did. Not just because he lasted the 12 rounds, but because I feel like out of all of the fighters that fought with Canelo, he didn't get overwhelmed by Canelo. I don't know, I guess status as this big star. And I felt like even after the knockdown, he was trying in there. He was just limited. He was there with a bigger man, but he was trying in there. You know, do I agree with you as far as like maybe he wasn't well deserving of that shot, meaning that other people have been online for so long? Yeah, I feel like he got lucky. I feel like because he built some type of name for himself as a knockout artist is kind of what got him in there. And you also got to put in account the whole Puerto Rico versus Mexico thing. You know, that sells, especially for pay-per-views. It's good for numbers. So they had all that thing behind. So I guess I can see why that happened. As far as like Munguia fighting, like Robert said, these no names. I'm actually happy for this no-name guy, Surase, because one is like we usually get this type of things, right? Where we have this high-profile fighter fighting this person that we don't know about, and usually they look good and they knock them out, and then we be like, come on, man, stop fighting these nobodies. We want you to fight this, and we want you to fight that, and want you to fight that. But when something like this happens, and then you have this no name fucking the bag up. So now the bag from Munguia is messed up. All right. So now the whole equation just took a left turn because now the party got spoiled. The man that was supposed to lose didn't get the memo. So now he put himself in the mix. And for what I know, guess what? Upset the next high profile name and make a name for yourself. So that way, maybe it will send a message like, hey, one of these no names, nobodies, they might throw a punch or two. And the funny thing is, like, for what I was seeing, this guy has like, I think 5 knockouts in 20 something fights. So he's not really known for power. So Munguia really fucked the bag up. we you know what I'm saying? And more than upset of the year, this is like the fumble bag of the year. You know what I'm saying? The back fumble of the year. Hey, shit.
I've been hearing the bag, but the bag ain't that big. Munguia Berlanga ain't no selling fight. Nobody really cares about that, right?
I mean,
they proved that it is a big selling fight if Canelo, Mexico versus Puerto Rico made, Canelo, the kind of pay-per-view numbers that it made. So they kind of did prove that is a good fight.
That's Canelo, though. I can't say Munguia, and we don't have a household name. You don't even have even a boxing head really name. Some of these guys they don't care about Munguia. They don't care about Berlanga. We watch Berlanga. That's COVID. That's COVID greatness, But when he got out of that shit, nobody cares anymore.
But the thing of it is, Lucas, is that Mexican fans do know Munguia.
What the fuck is COVID greatness?
Even if they don't like Munguia, like they like Canelo, they still are going to support a Mexican boxer. And Mexican Americans, Latin Americans make up the majority of boxing fans for, the North American continent. So that's money.
Hey, I've been wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm willing to admit that you may be right, Sakura. I just don't see the money there. I don't see it. I hear what you're saying with the rivalry, and I agree if they were better known names. But Munguia and Berlanga, not even a household name. It's not even close. I mean, people don't know these guys. And Javi, what I'm saying is he saved boxing from COVID. It was the recovery, the bring back. He's knocking everybody out. He was looking really good. We were all high on him, and then he dropped that bag. So Berlanga, you the first one to drop the bag, motherfucker. Anyway,
hey Javi, Javi. I heard his promoter threw up in his bag of popcorn after the knockout.
Berlanga did tweet like, "Damn, he done messed up the bag."
The promoter threw up in the popcorn bag, y'all. This is bad.
Hyperventilating.
This was a bad loss. Period.
It is
Well,
bad. This
Javi,
could
I
ruin
did
his career.
mention that at least Saraz should get that fight with Belanga then, since they were planning on Munguia fighting him. He should get the opportunity now.
That
Like I
sounds
do,
that
yeah.
sounds fine. But the idea is that Munguia's got to make a good, strong comeback, and I'm thinking maybe if he goes up against Christian and Bailey or Caleb Plant, uh,
Uh-huh.
uh, fight a big name and show us what he's got. Because I don't really think that if he beats Sarase again, it's really going to do much for him. I think he needs to go after
Right,
some
so-
big fish.
You know what, James?
So he should skip this.
You know what,
Yeah.
James? You touched on a good point.
But what if the big fish are like, dude, you just lost to the Saras. Get out of here. Get out of here. You ain't
Well,
worth
that's
nothing. Shoot.
Hold on, James. You brought up a good point. I want to see Plant versus Berlanga. Since they hate each other, they going at each other so much. And hey, Plant just proved he ain't nobody to mess with. He said, "Play with me if y'all want to. Play with me if y'all want to." He busting ass out here. That's what I want to see. Berlanga.
Hey, in and out of the ring, right? In and out of the ring. You will get slapped by Caleb Plant. Don't fuck with Caleb Plant. You gonna get the backhand. God damn it.
And so far, he's gotten away with it. What, twice now?
Yes.
But the pimp hand strong.
I think it's because it's boxer versus boxer that he's slapping. Like, so it's not like an unfair slap.
Hey, I'm with
like
it.
if it was a
Caleb
regular
Plant ain't no joke.
civilian.
Caleb Plant ain't no joke. He quiet. He very quiet. He out there doing the media and shit like his wife and everything. But you mess with him, oh buddy, it's on and popping with Caleb.
Well, I like Caleb Plant. I know that Belanga, that should be like a lead up fight. I think that was supposed to be the plan. It's like, it's supposed to be like the fight, by the end of 2025 maybe. But I mean, things are mixed up now with Munguia like not in his place. But I do think it would benefit him if he had a rematch and finished Shiraz easily, because it just proves like that was a fluke. That was just something that happened because it was like a flash. But I don't know if he wants to revisit him, or if that's good mentally for him to just come back and rematch him right away without fighting somebody else for some self-confidence or something.
Yeah, I mean, you could fuck up rematch, and then he might have your number. You lose again. You're really fucked. I mean, you're already down, but you want to be down 2,
right?
To a
like
no name.
You need to at least make sure you get a win in there before you risk another fight with a rematch, and this guy knows how to counter you.
Hey, I kind of low key liked it though. Look, stop looking past people. Stop looking past fighters. You can't have another fight kind of already signed in the background and waiting. No, okay. Fight the guy in front of you.
Hey, if they mess with Turkey Al-Ashish, they'll be fighting in 2 weeks from now.
Damn.
All right, guys. The odds for the rematch. Usyk, it is a very still close fight, but it looks like Usyk's still the.
That's fair odds. That is actually some pretty fair odds.
I mean, it's pretty close.
That is close.
What is it?
Well,
so they're minus 160.
Yep,
that's pretty tight.
Furious slight underdog, but yeah, I mean it is not a lot there.
All right, so if I could start, I'm not making my predictions till we all do yet, but in terms of the odds, I would tilt my way to have fans look at the 12 rounds. I think this one actually might surprise us and go the distance, y'all. I'm thinking this one is going to be a classic, and I think it'll go the distance.
I thought you weren't giving your prediction.
I'm
He
not
ain't
saying
say
he's
who
gonna win.
gonna get the
I'm not saying
decision though.
who. I'm not saying
He
who.
gave part of it then.
He gave us a forecast. He gave us a
Yep.
forecast, but no prediction.
Split decision or unanimous decision.
Yeah, I agree with him though. I don't think this is gonna go the full 12. Either or, whoever is gonna win. I'm not gonna say either. I mean, I can go and say it, but I'm gonna just kind of like let's marinate it a little bit. Um, as far as the rematch, I'm a one believer that the rematch, when you got good fighters, two good fighters, world class fighters, usually on the rematch, the crema was gonna rise to the top, right? So I feel like if if it was really close, then the great fighter will rise a little bit and make it a little more clear who was the real winner. Or it could be that the guy that looked like he probably didn't win will rise up to and adjust and surprise us. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson wins. I'm leaning more towards Usyk, but uh, there's definitely that little factor where even Tyson said it. I think he was a little bit clowning too much, way too comfortable, a lot of nervous energy in there. That if he can probably put that away and concentrate, lock in, we might be in there to see like the last of the last. What this guy might have. If not, then I feel like the better fighter is gonna rise up and make it's gonna be more clear, possibly even stop him, which I doubt it. But um, I feel like it's different. Sometimes somebody like Tyson, sometimes they need to come from behind. They need to be the underdog. They need to be the ones to be doubted, and with all the all the odds stacked against them. Because sometimes when they're the favorite, or they are the ones to more likely to win, they lose that sense of motivation, and then they're not training hard. They're not locking in mentally, and that could play a part. Some men like that, they need to be against all odds, and that's Tyson. I feel like Tyson made a career out of that. Nobody thought he was gonna win against Klitschko. Nobody thought he was gonna win against Fury. I mean Wilder, and even when he the first fight when the motherfucker did the undertaking and got up from the death, he came back. Nobody even thought he was gonna get up and finish the fight. He's like he's made a career out of coming back when nobody thought. Even when he was on depression, drugs, and all that stuff. So I feel like this could be the last hooray for him. And
He's
coming
saying
back.
he's a clutch player. He's
Yeah,
like a clutch player.
yeah, and honestly, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. I personally like both, but I feel like that would be like a Cinderella story type of boxing. Like when this guy just come prove, and if he wins, I think he might even look at retirement because I think Tyson is already slowing down a little bit, so he can be
Oh
a decent.
no, they want this AJ fight for the UK so bad. Like,
Well,
that's what the end goal is to
I, well, I
ride
guess
off in
that.
the sunset with
Every-
that kind of money.
with,
So
with
I guess
AJ,
what happened last time was another
yeah,
case of fucking the bag up because
Yep.
he
yeah.
Fury fucked the bag up on this one.
That fight with AJ Fury got devalued a little with his last defeat. But like as far as this one goes, I'm hoping that Fury wins simply because if he does, we'd get a third fight. And the first fight was great. Uh, I don't think he can win though. He hit Alexander Usyk with his best punch. It was an uppercut, and in so many words, Usyk said that it was excruciating, but he never let Tyson Fury know that he was hurt. And he said it was one of the most painful punches he's ever endured. And so what he did was he kept his posture and he kept fighting and made it through the round somehow. If
Mhm.
he took Tyson's best punch, he can't beat Fury. Sorry, he can't beat Usyk. He simply can't beat Usyk. But I kind of hope that he does because I'd love to see this third fight, especially if they do it at Wembley instead of Anthony Joshua. Because to me, Anthony
Mhm.
Joshua just got devalued with last whooping he took.
I mean, for us as U.S. fans, yes, but for UK British fans, they still like this fight, matchup. Uh, they just been wanting it a long time. But
Yeah, that's true.
besides that, it's the Usyk versus Fury is like Javi said. You think the cream rises to the top, but both of these guys got pretty good, pedigrees. I mean, they both are considered the best of the crop. So I just feel like with heavyweights, especially, anything can happen. I hate to even give a prediction, to be honest with you, because it's like all of us could be effed up, with our predictions, because it's like the Wild Wild West. Anything can happen in there. In a rematch, you got all these emotions. You got one needing the win because he wants to get, revenge for the first loss. You got Usyk, who's still carrying, a whole Ukrainian country on his back. And on top of that, Ukraine has been winning all year. Like everybody Ukrainian has been kicking ass in boxing. So it's hard to bet against the Ukrainian in 2024 for sure. But I'm just saying it's a lot of different things that are at play. And then also Fury, had admitted that his wife had lost one of their children during that time period too of the last fight. So
Right.
and then he had that, fight with Ngannou, which probably made him have in his mind that he wanted to be entertaining. So maybe that also will affect him in this fight where he's, going to be more focused on the actual professional boxing side of things. So it's just a lot of different variables in this fight. And Usyk, who's he fought in the meantime?
Neither one of them has
Neither
fought.
one of them has fought. So wow,
Have not.
both of them could be a little stale too. It might
Very
be a
well
couple
could
of
be.
rounds before we start seeing some fireworks. You just never know. I'm just saying anything is possible. That's what makes heavyweights the best, division to watch sometimes, is that you just can't predict what can happen. Look what happened to Munguia at 168. Nobody predicted that either, and it was such a surprise. So when you get up to the heavyweights, one punch, that's all it takes. I'm looking forward to that fight.
Yeah. And I was listening to Rob, and I'm like, Rob said it's going to a decision. If it goes to a decision, I'm just going to predict Rob. How about that? I'm going to predict Rob. So because you say it's going to a decision, Rob, I'm going to say you got Usyk winning. And honestly, I think if Fury wins, Fury's going to knock him out. Look, Fury's learned from his last fight out, he's got to use his size. He has to use his size. And when he did, he bullied Usyk around that ring. But the problem was he couldn't keep it up. He couldn't keep up that kind of pressure. He punched himself out repeatedly on 3 different occasions at least. And one of those is when Usyk rocked his ass. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, but Luke, Usyk knocked Fury from post to post to post. Yes, he did, but Usyk doesn't have that kind of knockout power. He's not that way. He's going to land his shots. He's going to do some damage, yes, but he's not this KO artist. He's not going to be knocking Fury out. He has perfect accuracy, placement. He's able to, counter really well, and that's what's going to hurt Fury. But I severely doubt if Wilder can't knock out Fury, can't nobody knock out Fury. Definitely not Usyk, okay? And again, all respect to Usyk, I do feel he's going to be even better. He's going to be the more prepared fighter going into this. The question is some things you can't prepare for. I think Fury's size and power, there's little that you can do for that other than avoid punches. But he's big, he's got long arms, you're going to get hit. You just got to minimize it as best you can. So my thought was, Rob, you're predicting Usyk by split decision. Again.
So you must You must be thinking the same if you're gonna try and claim my prediction or what I'm predicting. Listen,
I just thought I'd have some fun with it. I'm not even predicting the fight. I'm predicting what you're predicting. That's what I'm predicting.
Usyk is a machine. He is a machine. As James said, took Fury's best punches, took his best punch, and acted like nothing even happened. And like James said, he was hurt in excruciating pain, and the man didn't look like it. He just kept going, just simply kept going.
You're breaking up.
And that's hard to do. That's hard to do, especially against Tyson Fury. So, yes, you're damn right. I'm predicting Usyk to win a decision because
You're breaking up.
he's a machine. I don't think.
Go ahead.
I don't think Fury can beat him, and not because Fury isn't that good. Usyk is that good.
I really can't argue a lot there. Look, I do see kind of remnants of the same fight, breaking out. I think both of them are going to get hurt. The difference is I think Usyk will have to get up off the canvas to be able to win this one. And I think he does.
I
still
agree.
think he does. I still think he does.
I think that what you said in the beginning was the best point. That Fury ran out of gas several times. So in other words, the training regimen, it has to be better this time. The stamina's got to be better than what it was.
Better, but I think not only better, but I think it has to be excelling, and I don't think he can do that. I really don't. You look at Fury and his flabbiness and all that. I don't think Fury can get to that point. I don't think he can do in his training camp what he needs to do to pull off a win against Usyk. I don't.
Well, what else did you say in the beginning? You said you made a good point. The first thing that you said, I forgot what it was at the moment, but that also was a great point, Lucas. But I'm just feeling like there's room for improvement. Whereas always. I don't know for Fury, I'm saying I think there's room for. I remember what it was. You said he didn't use his size in there, and that was a big key for me too. It's like, why isn't he using his size?
Yeah, and when he did, it was like blatant. You're like, oh effective. Man, yeah, like run, Usyk.
Right. It was the effectiveness of using that natural physique of being bigger with Usyk. That to me can be improved upon. And the stamina has to be improved upon. Those two things are the keys to Fury winning this fight in this one. And Usyk, he has to get in to try to, get his offense going. But he could have stayed away a little bit more. He could have been a little bit more cautious at times too. Especially when Fury was more fresh in the fight in the beginning rounds.
I agree with you there. I think Usyk pressured Fury in places where I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like why are you trying to bully Fury? You're gonna mess around and get knocked out your damn self.
I was scared, but then I was like, damn, he got, balls of steel to come after this big ass man.
Yeah.
Like, dang, Usyk is the shit. Like, just because he came after him the way that he did, I was just like in awe that he did have Fury moving on his back feet a lot in spots. But when Fury decided to use his strengths to his advantage, it worked out fine. It worked out well for him. He just couldn't keep it up.
Mm-hmm. And if he can, I'm saying if he does, if he's able to just do 3 or 4 rounds of that kind of pressure and that size advantage is going to, if he can just do 4 rounds, I think he'll be able to get Usyk out of there. But that's a lot. That's a lot of stamina to just do that for 4 rounds. I don't think
And
he can do it.
Usyk is more of a more beefy, you know, heavyweight now than he was in the beginning. Like he's gotten used to the weight now, you know, and likes it. I think in the beginning, I don't think he liked it as much having that bulk on him, but I think that he's really like become like a solid, healthy version of a heavyweight for his body type. So he's going to be better equipped in there too.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's molded himself into that new weight very well. Coming from a
Mhm.
cruiserweight to heavyweight, he's made vast improvements. I mean, I knew he would do well, but my thing was always with Usyk was, can he beat those big guys? We didn't get to
Right.
see him beat Wilder, and to be fair, now beating Wilder wouldn't really matter, would it? I mean,
No,
maybe we still want to see it, but Rob, what were you saying?
Wilder's done.
Yeah. So
Wilder's done.
it wouldn't matter,
With
right?
with
But
Usyk, you can actually tell he's been out there in war and on the front lines. Cause that's pretty much kind of how he fights now, is right there on the front line. I'm gonna put myself right there. I'm gonna pressure and go out and face this shit head on, and whatever I take, I'm gonna give right back, and I'm gonna survive and win the fight.
yeah, I don't know. I James, you've been kind of in and out, buddy, but let's go over who you believe is going to win this one. We're going to save Sakura, I think, for last. It's me and I predicted what Rob was going to predict, and I predicted the same thing, which is basically another decision for Usyk. Um, in fact, we said Usyk is going to have to get off of the canvas to win. But I do want to see how you see this. What changes is there going to be from the first fight, and ultimately your prediction?
I think Tyson's got to come in as a better boxer. He's got to really assert himself and use his length, and punish Usyk with that overhand right. He's got to jab. He's got to move to his left, um, and Usyk's going to be on him from the get. So I think that if Tyson's on his game, he might be able to pull off a victory with a split decision or so. Um, but Usyk is probably the best of the two in terms of like skills, boxing skills, speed, punching power. Um, he's steamrolled a lot of people, and he didn't steamroll Fury, but it was a good sound whooping. I mean, he almost took him out. So I'm thinking in this case, Usyk wins by decision, but it's going to be a little bit more contentious than the first fight.
A little closer. I think we all agreed to that. I had something else to say. I lost it. Sakura.
Yeah, I can't even, like I said before, I don't have a prediction yet because it's a lot of things, moving parts in my mind that I really got to narrow down and, decide once and for all who I'm gonna back, you know. So I don't have a prediction right now, and I really truly believe anything can happen in this particular fight.
But you've got to give a prediction.
I mean, I'm going to. I mean, I didn't know I had to do it on Tuesday.
What? Yeah, yeah, you
It's
did. You
early in
know
the
what it
week.
is. It's tough
It's
talk. You
early
got
in
to
the
say
week.
something.
It's with information, so you can always
Well,
adjust
I
You
like
know, he's
okay.
correct it.
to the
This
opening.
isn't an official prediction. The official one with James, that's later.
I
This
mean,
is
like
Tough
I
Talk's
said,
prediction.
well, I just don't think this is 2024 is not the year to bet against Ukrainians because they've been kicking ass this year. Seriously. Um, so for right now, I'll go with Usyk just because they are on us. They're steamrolling this year. So I'm just gonna leave it there for now. But in my mind, I feel like I know that Fury has the ability to win this fight. but I don't know if he's going to be able to execute everything that we said we needed him to do in order to win the fight. So for right now, I leave it where I have it at Usyk. Okay, and that's because you guys pressured me.
I'm actually kind of shocked. I didn't assume that all four picking Usyk. I really did think it would be a little bit more spread out. Um, but guys, do you think if he's able to not only win, let's say Usyk wins by knockout, where's his place? Where's his legacy at? Can he consider himself a great heavyweight? He really didn't spend a ton of time at heavyweight.
Yeah, but
he beat the lineal champion guy.
I was about to say that gonna make him the lineal champion.
He did it tough talk style. Get in, get off, get out.
That's right.
Yeah, but he kind of got away with that Dubois body punch, though.
Well, there's that. There's always going to be.
he got the favor from the gods on that one, but it's okay though, because champions know how to win under any circumstance. That's what real champions do. They figure out a way to win. And you got to use everything, all the tools, all the tricks, everything you've got to get that W. So I'm not mad at him.
All right.
In his hearts of hearts, he knows that was not low below those.
I've watched that.
I'm not. It's so. Go ahead, James.
Sorry about that. I've watched that blow a few times, and I still can't decide whether it's low or a good blow.
Me either.
All right. Sometimes I think it's because I know what's happening is that when he gets hit at that point of his protective belt, he gets hit on the it's got like these thick. It's like a thick belt, right?
Yeah.
It's being pulled up, meaning that his junk is being pulled up as well. So
hoisted.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not fun. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's never a fun area.
It is and it's not. It's weird.
But if you talk to boxing referees now, when they describe, you ask them where's the low blow line at, and then it is different than what it used to be. It's now that they don't say like anything below. They just say you're safe anything above the pelvis bone. Mm-hmm. They don't say like, well, this would be considered low. They just say no, anything above this particular point.
Right.
Would be safe.
Right. The ref usually even explains better before. Right. He'll say here's good, and
there's good. But that ref didn't do that in the beginning. So, that also caused confusion later. But also, even if he had said where the line is at, like James is saying, them shorts be moving.
It's hard to say. It really is. And I'm with James. I can't call it either. It was a very close one. I do think it was slightly low, but do I think he was hitting his nuts? No. I mean, I think it was a body shot, but again,
it was off center.
Yeah.
Well,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he got hit in the nuts. What matters is if it was below. If it's below,
that let me know that was a solar flex punch more so than a testicle punch. Like it was the way that when he went down, he was like, that's what it does. It knocks the breath out of you. When somebody hits you in that particular part of your abdomen. So to me, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the ref caught it immediately. He didn't delay his reaction. He didn't. So he immediately called it a low blow.
Right, because of the way that he, was on the ground and it looked like, oh, he must have got hit there. That's what the ref is looking at your visuals. Because I don't know for sure if he actually saw when that low blow punched, came through. Or technically, possible low blow. But anyway, I just think that Usyk is an amazing boxer. He knows how to get the win. And, but can he overcome, not power, but just someone that is bigger and imposing and can apply pressure on him But you can't just apply pressure. You have to consistently apply pressure over the rounds.
Mhm.
Like you can't apply pressure and then stop, which is what was happening with Fury. Whenever he got winded or tired or what have you, or punched out, as you guys were saying. So that's what's making me like, I don't know if I want to choose Fury. Like I want to choose Fury. Like I'm like James, like I want him to win, but
Uh,
at the same time, like I need to. I'm not secure in whether or not his natural abilities are going to be able to come through that night or not, for sure.
well,
Well, Lucas,
I think that if Usyk wins this fight, then hopefully he would fight Dubois again. I think that's a
Well,
really
that would be nice. I mean, that
yeah,
would be the number one mandatory for what? The WBO?
uh,
yeah,
well, there's Dubois Parker next
right.
on the Bivol
Better be
Better
in.
Be undercard. So that's interesting. Yeah, that'll be an interesting bout to see who wins this one and how that plays out. But Lucas, real quick, what are your guys' thoughts on this AI judging that's going to take place for this fight? Now, it's not going to count, of course, is what they're saying, right? It's not going to count, but they're going to
Test it out.
test it out, right?
I don't know. I'm mixed feelings. I'm gonna wait and see how it plays out. I think it could be a good thing, but the problem is in itself, right? We're judging fights. It's very circumstantial. Very your perspective. AI doesn't really have perspective. It is direct, right? So it's gonna say he landed this many hooks. Can the AI really see one? Can it see damage being done? Can it judge well on how well it landed or that it just landed? Or is it going to be able to tell that it's blocked punch very well? Partially blocked punches. There's so much that plays into it.
And
Boxing
who won a
is
round? Yeah, like
exactly. I think winning a round period is very different on everybody's scorecards, and what you have to do so is also very different. So I'm intrigued, but I'm not expecting much from the AI boxing judge. If the judges who have been trained for years can't get this shit right, I doubt a machine just going to be able to pick up and do it like that.
well, yeah, I agree. But at the same time, it's nice to have like a little double check. I mean, it's nice to just have like a little tool additionally to be like, okay, so AI is telling us that they thought this person won based on these particular stats. Like, it's just another perspective, an extra added level, but I would never rely on AI to do the job of, human judges because, you know, it takes so many training courses, so many seminars, so much practice for judges to even be, you know, considered a proper training. And that's like, so you're gonna teach AI to do it in what, three codes? I just don't see how that's gonna work. I don't.
Hey, I'm all right with it as long as they put it from my perspective. Put me in it.
What you
This
mean?
is AI Judge Robert Alexander right here, and everything that I say is what they put in it. I'm all right with
Everything
it if
that
they do that.
calculates out is gonna say such and such ain't shit. Cause that's what you say.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how they implement it and how it's used. I mean, AI could be used in a lot of different ways. If it's going to be like something that assists judges to make better calls, cool. But I mean, if it's going to be like an AI judge versus three other conventional judges, then let's see how that works. I just don't know.
Yeah,
It's going to be. I know that they're going to use it, but how
Mhm.
exactly it's going to be implemented, we don't know.
Yeah, they
exactly.
said a test. They just want to test it for right now. But you're right. What's the end goal of that AI? You know, is it going to be actually calculated with the other three judges, or is it just a tool that they can use internally uh, with judges and commissions, or is it just going to be a learning or training exercise for them when you're in some of these seminars? I'm just wondering too.
The other question:
Yeah, go ahead.
how do you corrupt AI? What do you offer it?
It's programmable, you know.
That's what
Yeah,
I said.
they'll
Who's putting
hack
in the
into it.
codes? Who's putting
Yeah,
in those codes?
they'll
Okay.
hack into it. Next thing you know, fucking Ryan Garcia done figured out how to hack into it with his followers or something like
Why
that.
you bring up Ryan Garcia? Because I had almost forgot about that Devin Haney case this week. Where
Yeah, I don't even want to
Well,
give Devin Haney any airtime for anything. Go ahead, James. What were you going to say?
real simple. That got tossed. No merit,
yeah,
which is
well,
sad. I mean, it's just the way it is. But I mean, it would set a bad precedent if this went forward, simply because this is pugilism. People are paid to knock the shit out of each other. That's the name of the game. Um,
right.
assault battery charges for a fight that you signed.
I think the way the
Yeah,
courts and the legal system see it is, we already have the Ali Act in place, and that's where they want to leave it at. They don't want to get any more involvement than that
But
legally.
people are skating around that shit. People are, I mean, that's what Al
I mean,
Heyman's
I
been
understand
doing.
that, but I think like when it comes to a case like this, they're
Leave
gonna look
Al
at
alone now.
precedent, which is the Ali Act, and they're like, yeah, this you had a contract, you signed a contract for this fight, and you're a professional boxer.
there's very little that the court system can do for this fight, for that fight, simply because you're looking at really, really minute amounts of
Levels.
PEDs,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a timing issue involved as to when those were administered and whether they made a difference and how they could make a difference. And so
Mm-hmm.
the court is just not going to step on shit here. They don't
Yeah.
want part of this lawsuit.
No.
It's just too vague. And I think that it was really ill advised of Devin Haney to go forward with this. Now it's just egg in his face, and he looks like a sore loser.
Well,
Yeah.
you're right. They have to throw it out because otherwise, anybody that fails a drug test afterwards is going to get charges put against them for battery or assault or whatever. It doesn't make sense, right? It's just, what are you doing? You're making yourself look worse. You're not helping your case at all. In fact, you're making yourself look like a biggody bitch. Like, just stop.
Yeah, but
Stop what this is.
there's just too many variables. There's too many variables for a court system to look at this and say that this is a definite decision based on these facts, where those facts are really gray. I mean, just from the outside looking in, it'd be
Yeah,
very.
they're gonna be like, prove it. How can you prove it that you would have
It's
won had it not been for
Yeah.
XYZ? And how
yeah.
you proving it? And he's already been punished for what was in his system. So it's not like there's some punitive, there's any additional
Well,
sentencing.
there's no double jeopardy there, simply because he's not been tried. But the boxing commission suspended him for
Well, that's
PEDs.
what I'm talking
And
about.
he was also fined, right?
And he was fine. Yes.
He didn't make weight, so he lost money there. And I think that
Well,
the Haney team should, at this point, just keep their mouth shut and take the loss or the win or whatever you want to call it and move on.
I
But
think
Good
Javi
point.
was
you don't.
Javi was adamant, like he was laughing like, but I think I said something similar too. It's like who now you're making it where people are not gonna want to face you because as far as signing contracts to fight you because they don't know whether or not you're gonna want to sue them if you lose or not. Like that's
Exactly.
the way it looks to a boxer. I mean, Javi's saying that as a professional boxer. He's saying like, now you're gonna have to have a special clause in your contract with Haney that says he won't try to come after you liably, for actually beating him.
Right. What he needs to do is go sue Diddy for whatever Diddy did to him. Um,
Well,
Well,
Oh,
2 points. 2 points. Number one, Lucas, you don't went all crisscross on
look
us with
at
that
this
biggity biggity
jam.
thing. That's number one.
he was at the
Number
party. He was at the party. I've seen the pictures. He was there. Okay.
Number 2, leave Diddy out of this. But hey,
Lucas had me. Listen, I'm
Lucas,
sorry, but Lucas had me when he said "biggity bitch."
the crisscross. He went crisscross on him. But hey, Lucas, did he do it? Did he do it though? Did he do it?
Did he?
Okay, yeah. Did it? But
no, listen.
Yeah, he really sued.
Devin
That's what
Haney,
really happened.
Devin Haney, if you're listening, because I know you're watching this show, fight somebody. Get in the damn ring and fight. Stop fighting people in the court of law. Start fighting people in the media and the press. Stop fighting people on Twitter. Fight in the gosh darn ring. Somebody, for the love of God, because you haven't fought since.
I got no desire to see him anymore either. Like the whining and the bitching that happened after it. Like I even admit that he's cheated. He was cheated. You shouldn't have taken the step aside money for the weight. That's your first mistake. Okay, that's your own fault though. You accepted that. Now it came to the pits. Like, dude, okay, it's either get over it or stop fighting. You can't have it both ways. Now for the AI, I do want to kind of make a return to that. So I don't understand why they went from AI to being a judge. Why don't they do AI assisted stats? Because I think that's already hard. CompuBox is kind of shit. I don't believe it most of the time. I think it's maybe like 80% accurate. So if AI can help track the stats, maybe we can have better statistics to share with in the boxing world. But to go to a judge, I mean, I think that's a step further, right? Let's get to the stats first. Can you tell a landed punch from a missed punch first before we start saying, oh yeah, you know who won? Bitch, you don't even know if it punch landed or not. So let's take it a step by step. I don't have big expectations. I don't want fans to also have any kind of big expectations, because I'm saying this right now. I think it's going to be at least a work in progress for a while.
They're gonna say it's accurate. Nobody ever wants to admit that AI be screwing up right now. Like they just want their product to like be the best product ever, you know, to sell Americans on, or boxing fans, or sports people. Like they're never gonna be like, oh well, you know, there's some serious glitches and this didn't turn out right. When have you heard somebody with an AI product say they effed up? Like, or it wasn't right. They're not going to admit that anyway.
It's really, really difficult because, like, you know, judges' task is to determine who fought better, who scored, not who scored more, but like, you know, you have to appreciate slipping punches and footwork and, you know, parrying punches and picking punches up with your elbows or forearms, and who jab better and all that. Maybe it's not a really, really decisive blow, but 3 really good jabs, even if they're successive jabs, will score you points. And I don't know that AI would appreciate that. Boxing is a thing of appreciation, and that's what the judges are supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Not always that way, because there's a lot of corruption in this sport. If we could get the corruption part fixed more than implementing AI, I think we'd be better off. We can't have judges in there. But we know boxing enough. We know.
However, the AI, if it gets good enough, we can point out who the corrupt judges are.
Hopefully.
Now the AI though, for me, it still doesn't make sense. One, I'm sick of everybody saying the word AI, because artificial intelligence is still not real. Okay, if you use any of these things, you talk to Chat GPT or something like that, these are a learned algorithm that it's still just programmed, right? And programming is not enough when it comes to boxing. This is different. You could put an AI with a little camera, you know, behind a catcher in baseball, and it can tell you that's a strike, that's not a strike. But telling a landed punch from a missed punch or a blocked punch for that matter, is very, very subtle, right? It's not as easy as a touchdown, a home run, a strike, a ball. these things are so complicated. I don't think AI is going to be any benefit. I really don't. But I'm going to hold
Well, I
out
don't want to
until I
see it
see it.
taken out of humans' hands. I mean, like I said, I mean, you have judges, they start with amateur judging, then they do hundreds of fights over there, then they go to, your professional bouts, and it takes so many of those. Plus, you're trying to keep up with all the changes and everything that the ABC does. Then you have these conventions, Lucas, like I told you this weekend, where you got all these seminars they have to pay for. Like, this is something that is like, I mean, it really is a career where you have to stay update and current. You have to like continuously hone in on your craft. And I was kind of surprised that it's that in depth, just to analyze one round. It's like, cause one round has ebbs and flows. You know what I'm saying? It's like one boxer could be winning, then the pendulum swings and it goes over to the next boxer winning. Like, and you don't do it fast, like, oh, now I'm giving this round to such and such. Like, no, it's like you gotta have a trained eye to know when that momentum switches or changes. So I don't know how AI can do that. I don't.
And yeah, it's not going to be able to be tricked into, oh, you fought for the last 10 seconds of that round, now you win the round. No, it's not going to do that. See, so I'm so like taken aback by how it's going to work. I'm interested, don't get me wrong. I just don't see how it's going to work. Because again, I mean, honestly, I don't even think we will fully know of punch effectiveness and stuff like that. We're never going to know that kind of shit. Not until we have something that can read your pain. You know what I mean? Then, only then, we're like, oh yeah, look at Fury's pain was off the charts. There is no other way until we can get some statistics like that we'll know any kind of effectiveness. And to expect a computer or just a camera to do it is
hook up their vitals. Hook up their vitals to it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what you need, right? You need like, oh man, he's really hurt to the body. He looks like you can sometimes, right? We can visibly tell he's got his guard low. Other times, some guys they fake it a lot better.
Yeah, they know how to fake when they're hurt, and that helps them in a round. There are a lot of guys that know how to fake when they're hurt. And so you can't measure it by just visually looking, but your heart rate can go up suddenly when you're in a lot more pain than you were, 3 seconds ago. Like, so there are little telltale signs.
The one thing I'm thinking about is like, as an example, if you look at Evander Holyfield fighting on the inside, he may have gotten hit, but he was scoring to the body and to the jaw, and he had the uppercuts and the short. So for a heavyweight, he was an extremely, really efficient fighter on the inside. And I don't know that anyone but a human can appreciate that, because if you see him get hit, you think he's getting hit, but he's not, or he is. But he's also scoring, and he's just like a really classic example of a good inside and outside fighter. What is AI?
That's effective, like, it's like that punch that landed on him, was it really effective if it didn't bother the boxer? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he also parried punches real well on the inside.
Well, he was a cruiserweight first, so
yeah, no, but the idea exactly. But the idea is that how does artificial intelligence
pick up on those things?
The question is, how does it appreciate that?
You're right, and in order to do that, it needs to be able to have its own frame of thought, and it does not have that. I mean, it doesn't. It needs to say, this is a punch, this is not a punch. It does not see the gray lines. That's why I'm saying I really don't see this going out too far. Those gray lines, it cannot read. It can't have an opinion upon itself, right? It can only say yes and no. And I think half of the time, especially with some of these people's fast punching, you're not even going to get a clear yes or a no either. It happens so fast, you don't know if it was blocked. You don't know if it maybe landed and it wasn't that effective. It could be a numerous amount of things. So I'm interested.
If anything, it'll prove that, we do love judges, and we need to appreciate them more. maybe after we see what AI comes out with, you're like, damn,
How about
And
before
it messed
we
us
start
all
doing
up.
AI judges, we don't actually have a team of judges like, hey, in between rounds, they check with another judge and the ref. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of an AI ref maybe even, because you could do like where the humans aren't even interacting with each other. You have multiple refs throughout the night, and you never have anyone, you don't see them conglomerating and be like, hey, Fury's holding and, he's getting away with it every round. You got to start calling something. You got to warn them. You got to do something, right? Instead, we just watch as the referee continues to fail at his job, right? He's getting hit with rabbit punches and it just keeps happening. And, that's AI could just be like, hey, cut out rabbit punching, disqualified. Like, I don't know.
Why did AI gotta talk like that?
Because that's the only way I can make it talk. But that's just my frame of thought. I really think they're jumping the gun with the judge. There are other places that they could implement this better, I think, if that makes sense. Maybe it's just me.
I mean,
hashtag
for
stop
me, I
taking our
just wish
jobs.
judges would like be able to rotate in between rounds, like switch chairs. So one ref is never in a bad area the whole fight. Like if they just
And,
switch to a different angle, like every round or every 2 rounds. Like
and
I
that's what
think,
I'm wondering too.
yeah,
Is
why they don't
where are
do
they
that?
putting it? Are they putting it in multiple places? Or is it just going to be one spot?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's very interesting. Go ahead, Jim. What are you saying?
No, the idea is that how you're going to be able to interpret everything that's going on. And the thing with AI, it's all new. It's relatively new, so it would take a while to really make a lot of adjustments so that you can properly implement it. But I don't like the idea because it doesn't show any appreciation for the art of boxing. You have to appreciate people's skills.
Yeah, the art of boxing is a beautiful thing.
My thing
And
is, if we can root out the corruption, we'll be far better off. Which reminds me, I heard the name Adelaide Bird in the news this week. Did you guys happen to hear that?
no,
No.
what now?
Let's
What?
hope not.
Okay, so I would probably not even comment on that, but yeah, I
No,
Oh,
you
now that
can't.
you
You can't
mention it,
open
now
the
you don't
door and
want to
then close
comment on
it.
it.
okay, so I'll tell you what it is, but maybe it's not current, but that she is still officiating as a judge this week is what I heard. I don't know if that was outdated or not, but uh, to
What do
know
you
that
mean?
Adelaide
You
Bird is
talking
still
about in the Fury versus? Are
no,
you?
just in general
Just
is
in general.
related
Yeah,
to, but
she never stopped. She never stopped. Like I didn't know she. I wasn't aware she stopped being a judge.
okay, because yeah, as far as I heard, that she still was, but I didn't have a chance to look this up. Normally, I kind of try and research things a little bit, but especially before bringing them up on a show.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that I heard that she was still judging, and I'm like, she shouldn't be judging anytime, anywhere, any place for
Not
nothing.
after the last few I saw. I mean, any of the top ones were really bad, if
I
not
was
correct.
Well, if that's the case, then there's a whole lot of other male judges that shouldn't be judging at all.
Oh
um,
no, there's definitely some
Like
there
if
too.
you're
Yeah,
gonna say that, but it
you
is a
got
learning curve. It's a learning. It's learning on the job. Is what you have to do.
but you
Like
don't learn in championship fights. You don't learn in
no,
championship
you
fights. You
shouldn't
learn
be.
in the
But
shitty
some people
little
do have a
bar
bad
fights.
night. That's just
No,
what it
there's
is.
not a bad night. Is that not the one that had it a draw for Canelo Mayweather?
I
no,
don't know.
it was
I
more.
don't
I'm
even
pretty
remember. I
sure that
know it
was.
was Canelo
Uh,
versus. I thought it was Canelo versus Triple G.
yeah,
I
it was.
thought that was the controversial
I
one.
think it was both.
Yes, you're right. I think it is
I,
both.
And
I'll
that's why
just say
I'm saying
this.
she's bad. It's like, man, you got two very high profile fights that were way off on the score, way off. I mean, it's not.
Out of
We're
how
not
many
talking.
hundreds of
We're
fights?
not talking about a little bit.
I'll,
Yeah, but I
I'll
mean,
just
we
say
don't. I don't
this.
go back and judge her
I
fights. I
mean,
don't
I'm
know.
just
I'd have to
saying.
rewatch the
I'm just
same shit
saying.
she
There's
did.
some male judges that their names are brought up way out more often for like, how did they come up with this score? Nobody's ever said that they just need to like not be
No.
doing it at all and
Oh,
in
I
no
would if
capacity at
one came to
all.
mind. That's
I
for
got
sure.
a suggestion, y'all. Just
Go ahead. I
ESPN,
ain't
if you're
suggesting
listening,
y'all.
ESPN, if you're listening, Sakura, first of all, Sakura way too pretty for y'all to be arguing with her tonight, okay?
What?
Second
Me?
of all, ESPN, if
I'm
you're
in my
listening,
Christmas PJs.
ESPN, if you're listening, just go to the fan vote, okay? Because the fan vote is always right.
The fan vote is
The
always right.
fan scorecard is that what you're
Fan
saying?
judge
Okay, I
is
got you.
always right.
Yeah, I love that moment when they're like, oh, well, 80% of the people thought such and such won that fight. And then you go look it up and it's like 20 people that voted.
All right, guys. Well, I'm excited for this weekend. I really hope it's a good fight. I really don't have a dog in it. I do think Usyk's going to win, as I said earlier, but I want to see the fight. It's going to be a great fight. The AI part is also somewhat interesting. I do want to see that. I want you guys to comment though. What do you think of the boxing AI? Let us know here at Heavy Bag Boxing. Tough Talk airs every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. As you heard, we don't pull punches, and we'll see you again next week.